I took an unfortunate loss on NASDAQ today, but there's still a lot to learn from today's price action. So let's go ahead and jump straight into it so you guys can get some beautiful educational content here. So as you guys know, I like to start on the daily time frame. Now on the daily time frame here, what we can see is we've been completely bearish, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Today would be the 6th bearish day in a row, okay? Now, something I was looking at, and I had a little bit of conflicting bias. I saw reasons for both sides, right? Here's why I saw reasons for longs today. Because we had just recently tapped into this daily gap and respected it on the previous day. Also, previous, or PXL, PXH, if you know about that daily bias, we had swept out the previous day, or no, sorry. Yeah, we swept out the previous day low down here and closed back inside, which means normally we would want to see previous day high be taken, right? And then also, if we go into the 4-hour time frame, you see we have an unfilled 4-hour gap, which is the only gap on the 4-hour time frame that we see. So it would make sense to draw up here into this 4-hour gap before continuing lower, or if we want to continue higher, right? But it makes sense for this 4-hour to be a good draw on liquidity. And I don't disagree with any of this. Also, holy shit, this damn near looks like it played out perfect. What the hell? Yeah, damn near to the tick. But anyway, on the 4-hour here, that's the only thing we really see is we have that gap above us. So it looks like we're kind of bullish. The only other thing would be we have like a CSI or CISD right here. We close above these order blocks, signaling we want to go higher, right? Now, moving on to the hourly time frame here, we have a bearish gap right here, which we have clearly inversed, got a nice closure above, and going into that inversion, we had this 1-hour gap right here, which we mitigated and respected. So we were respecting bullish PD arrays, disrespecting bearish ones. We have a bullish CISD on the 4-hour time frame. We have a bearish 4-hour gap above us to draw into, and so it looks like we're pretty bullish, right? Now, I agree, and that's why today I was low-key torn between biases. But if we go and we look at ES, here's the ES chart, you can see we had, equal lows right here, and we also had this low here. So we had relative equal lows and equal lows just stacked up down here. So that is going to be a very strong draw on liquidity, and as we can see, it was not an SMT. It wasn't like we had an SMT where NASDAQ had taken out this low and ES hadn't. No, we had relative equal lows right here, as well as we had all of these equal lows down here on ES. So whenever you see something like that, you want to be leaning more towards shorts. Although NASDAQ was showing a lot of bullish confluences, the rest of this here is showing us we would want to be bearish. So after we take out these lows here on ES, then we could start to look for longs back to the upside. But until we've taken out these lows, we shouldn't be longing, right? And same thing with NQ. Now, again, if there was an SMT here, then we could have, thought maybe, okay, we don't need to see these lows again. Even though we have equal lows on ES, we have an SMT there, so it's already been swept. But that's not the case, so that's why we would be bearish for it today, okay? And so moving in to like the 15, there we had a bearish gap right here, but that's really it. We didn't have too much, and also we had nice low resistance liquidity, right? We have all these lows that you could target down here, and then clearly this one, and then the final low all the way down here, right? So those are kind of the targets that you can have in mind. But anyway, moving into the actual market open, so it's on this vertical line right here. Hopefully you guys can see that, and right off open, on the 1-minute time frame, you can see here's some of the trades we were taking, but we just pump straight up. Well, first I guess we get this little manipulation of this low here, and then we just pump straight up. And whenever we do that, we get a nice SMT at this high here. It's not this high here, which would have been better, but still valid, right? Also, keep in mind, we just tapped into this 15-minute gap here, right? So we have this 15-minute gap that we're respecting, and what do we get out of that 15-minute gap, right? We get this beautiful 5-minute rejection block right here. You can go ahead and label it for you, put the midpoint on 5MRB, boom. So you can see we have a nice 5-minute rejection block out of that 15-minute gap. So this is my first entry. Now, here's why I was entering as well. It's because if you pull the fib from the high to the low, golden pocket, boom, you can see that 705 pretty much aligned perfectly with the start of that rejection block. My stop loss 25 points, you can see, just covering the CE of that rejection block, right? Now, unfortunately, price comes up and front runs it by what? By almost 8 points. So 8-point front run, so we don't get that entry, okay? So you have that first 5-minute rejection block out of a 15-minute gap. Then, since we don't get that entry, what does price do instead? It puts another rejection block right here on the 1 minute with, I believe this might be a 5-minute gap. No, not even a 5-minute gap. 4, no, 3, no, 2. 2-minute gap right here, also a 1 minute. I was just looking at the 1, but we have this gap right here that we get a nice 1-minute rejection block out of, which is front running our original entry. So, just move this over. Here's that 1 minute. Boom. And so you just enter on the close of this candle, basically, like with your, obviously right there where the tool is, boom, you would enter at the start of that candle, and boom, you can see it plays out perfectly. So I did not take this trade. I missed it. The reason I missed it is because I was hoping, I was just more focused on this 5-minute and hoping that we were going to come up here and do it. And I just couldn't believe this rejection right here. And I was just sitting here just looking like, damn, am I really not going to get entered? And yeah, that's exactly what happened. And another reason this is good is because we barely have any wick on this 1 minute candle. Now it's a 1 minute candle, and we do have a tiny, tiny, tiny wick right there, maybe like 0.25 points, but still not really a lot of manipulation below that wick. So we would want to see that taken out, as well as we would like to see those lows on ES be taken out. So we could hold to like midnight open or even lower, right? So that's the first 2 trades, right? We would have this one and this one that was a potential entry that we just didn't get, right? Then moving forward, okay, let me just go ahead and I'll hide these for now so they're not messing up the chart here. But now, okay, we have, let's see, how do we taken out these lows? I'm not even sure if we did. Let's see, at 857 on ES, how do we taken them out yet? Let's see. Let's see. On the 1 minute at 857. No, we hadn't. So we hadn't even taken out the lows yet at this time. So we wait for 10 a.m. to open, right? 10 a.m. is this green line. Now, we have pretty much no wick to the downside. This wick here is so tiny. Even if I make it bigger, it is what? Like, let's see. Less than 2 points. So that's not a valid manipulation below the wick. So I wanted to see price go down below that. Also, we've been bearish on the day. Also, we still have those untapped equal lows on ES. So we're bearish. So I want to see price go down. So whenever price starts moving up, all I'm thinking this is manipulation for us to continue down lower, right? And that's exactly what we did. But the issue here is I just got an early entry. Now, let me show you the entry I took. So we had this 5-minute fair value gap right in here. I can show you it if it'll load. What are we doing here? There we go. We got this nice 5-minute gap right here. So that's what we were looking at. Price comes up into it. We get this first rejection block here. Just not good enough for me because I want to go break even at 10 a.m. open in case we want to continue higher on some bullshit, right? So whenever we get this bearish candle, I don't do anything. I wait for a resweep of it. Then we get this bearish rejection block here. That's the one I took, right? Boom, place my entry, stop loss right above the high, and it got stopped out. Price wanted to fill this entire fair value gap, and then we did exactly what I wanted it to do, which was completely dump. Now, this here is a 1 to 6.85, just down to this low here, but let's see, where would you have even got out at if you held to those lows on ES? You would have got out here at the 912 candle. So let's see here. It might have, yeah, so exactly. You would have wanted to get out here at this low anyway. So beautiful TP here. Obviously, you could have held for lower just because we're going lower. I mean, this ran all the way to down here, but unfortunately, we just got stopped out. A very beautiful trade, in my opinion. All of those entries were valid. I wish that the first one got tagged in, right, on this 5-minute up here, but unfortunately, we didn't. But you can see why we were bearish was because, again, those equal lows on ES were just a super strong draw on liquidity. But I don't want to take up too much of your time today. That was one loss for me. Tried to get 2 trades in today, but we didn't. We have FOMC later today, so hopefully price action the rest of the week is good. We'll be back. Again, we have to remember, what is this win rate, guys? 30 to 50%. Now, For me, whenever I backtest, it is nowhere near that. I get like 5% win rate or less. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I backtested 15 trades in a row and they were all losses. And clearly, I know how to read the market whenever we're trading live. So it's like, I don't know if I'm just shit at backtesting or what's going on. But backtesting this model has not helped me. It's low-key lost confidence. But trading live markets, ton of confidence. I mean, this shit's clean. Just an unfortunate stop out here. Now, let's say you wanted to get this entry here because I saw some people waiting on the 5 minute, and the 5 minutes valid as well. We just never got a retest at the 5 minute rejection block. Was there anything that got tested again? The 4 minute, but that doesn't look good. So really, just unfortunate. Valid short, just unfortunate day, right? Front ran on the first one that was good, missed the 1 minute re-entry, and then this one gets stopped out. So anyway, I'm not going to hold you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys for all the support on the recent videos. But this, unfortunate, pisses me off today. But it is what it is. Just going to sit on my hands now and come back tomorrow with a clear mind. And hopefully you guys got something out of this video. Drop some comments down below if you guys took any good trades. Show me what you took. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. And I'll be happy to help you guys out. Peace.